Jefferson County, 43952, Steubenville, Ohio.
7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust.
The Black experience in America. You are invited in to comment and dialogue with us as we search for peace, knowledge, and wisdom in a world that seems to operate without it. What we ask of you is to subscribe to our channel and help us grow. Also, share its channel with your friends and family. Hitting the like buttons helps us with knowing what kind of content you like and what we can do better. Buckle up for a great show. A place where we come to the community looking at the Black experience in America through the lens of a lot of different people in our community. Today we got a dynamic guest, and we're going to share a lot with you. But before we get started on this episode of Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom, I would like to remind you guys, hey, we're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. We're on Instagram, a lot of other places. So you're looking for Mac TV $ in order to find the Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom show. The Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom show, we're going to have a lot more regularly soon. Got a lot of guests lined up. So I want to make sure you guys get to YouTube, subscribe, and then hit the bell. When the drop down comes, hit the bell so you'll be notified of all the contents that we drop on Mac TV, whether it's Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom, whether it's the Mac and Jet show, whether it's on the contrary, once Stephon Hill gets started with his show. Also, right now, I think you guys already have witnessed the dynamic preaching and messaging and teaching of Gregorio Watchman, which is what he goes by on his Facebook page. And now he's on Mac TV, giving us a whole lot of teachings and preaching. You'll find his videos on Mac TV. So you gotta go ahead and subscribe. The producer just told us we're going to be soon, very soon, dropping Mr. Chuck Lee, dynamic drawer, has great paintings, also dropping music. He's a producer. Listen to some of that music, but we're going to get his talent here on Mac TV very soon, so look out for that. But in order to get all that, you got to go to Mac TV $ and subscribe. Go to the Facebook page and follow. Soon, all of our lives will only be done. All of our videos will only be on Mac TV YouTube channel, Mac TV $. Again, Mac TV $. So, guys, please get in there. Take care of that so that you don't miss anything that we have to offer. We got some other new shows that's going to be coming up. I think you guys I assume you enjoyed the show we had with El Hecto H Donuts. I gotta remember the full acronym and the full name, but the brother kicked some knowledge about his life and how he changed his life around, and that is not an uncommon story. Now, maybe the success that he's at now might be a little uncommon, but people are always in our community trying to turn their life around. So perception is always key, and that's one of the things we want to do here at Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom, is get some of these things out that some of the gems in our community. And that's one of the great things about and why we do this show. And so everybody come on in. This is a Facebook Live. It's also a YouTube Live. And so we want you guys to interact with us. If you got any comments, the producer will see if there's any questions and let us know. If our guest can answer them, I'm sure he'll have no problem doing that. And so without further ado, again, this is the Mac TV $ YouTube channel. And this is the Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom show. And today's guest is an alumni of the show. I interviewed him a couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when he was kind of, to some extent, just starting out. And man, he's come a long way. You guys will know him from the community, coaching your kids, coaching with you guys, some of you guys, or just knowing him in the community. And it's none other than Coach Tay Montgomery from the Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to tell us about some of the things that he's got going on, some of the things he's got coming up. And again, you guys pay attention. If you got any questions, please ask. And let's start this interview. Brother, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good today. How you doing?
I'm doing real good. Good to see you. Relax. Want you to relax. We just going to have a conversation.
Thanks for having me.
I've coached with you,
Yes.
known you for a little while now. I came and recruited you, actually. Recruited you, and I don't know if you knew I was recruiting you, but I was recruiting you, and it was the best type of recruitment. I seen what you did from afar and what you were doing, and I respected it.
Right.
And I said, I want that. We want that. We need that. I got a fit for him, and came and talked to you, and you came to the Steubenville Tigers.
Yes, sir.
How long ago was that?
2005.
2005. Man,
Yes.
I didn't
2005.
realize. Yeah, so you were there for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
Oh, a lot of them.
A lot of kids, a lot of
see
great
lot of them
kids.
through, yes.
You're a young man now. You breathe some knowledge into them. The adrenaline you had for coaching was something that I really respected. And I think the organization fit that because we were all about the kids. We were all about them getting better, being successful. And so it was a perfect match. And I'm so happy that we was able to get you.
Right.
But during that time, something happened. You started something else. So I'm going to turn this over to you for the next couple minutes, 5 minutes, however long. Tell us a little bit about you and then get us into what you're doing now. And then we'll start dialoguing. And I'm going to give you some hard-hitting questions that you may not be able to answer.
Okay.
I doubt that. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about yourself.
So first of all, I want to say thank you again for having us on.
Yeah.
Back in that time where you guys gave me the opportunity to come into the Steubenville Tigers, it was a blessing for me and my family because I brought my son with me, Jonathan Blackman, and my other son, Tavion Montgomery, he was actually in Massillon, Ohio, which is a great football community also. So, we've always been surrounded by sports. So when I came to you guys, I kind of understood the design of what was expected. Okay. So when that happened, I was very, very happy to take that opportunity, with pride and say, hey, if you're not coming to bring something to them, don't come at all. So it was, like I said, it was a blessing that you guys allowed us to come in and to help make an impact and to help mentor some of these young men that's in the community. And it was just a great opportunity for us.
No problem.
Yeah. And then after that, basically we stayed we stayed with the Steubenville Tigers, helped a countless amount of young men learn the game of football, learn how to be able to handle a structured environment. And a lot of people don't understand how much it actually goes into, day in and day out, being with these young men and watching them develop. The key word is develop. If you're not developing, you're not mentoring these kids, it's not about the game of football.
No.
It's about the game of life. And, we experienced that a lot with them. So, every young man that was out there coaching, every father figure that was out there, man, it was just so exciting because we all had an opportunity to actually develop them and to learn ourselves from them.
Yes.
How to be patient, and to help them get to that next level that we all knew that they could go to.
Yes, for sure. Tell us a little bit about your beginnings, just a little bit, or if you want, or however much you want to. Where'd you go to high school? What did you do during your? Did you do anything like? What did you ever have the ability or the chance to have access to what you're offering our youth now?
Yeah. First of all, I went to Toronto High School.
Okay.
Toronto High School. When I was there, we had a very dynamic group of young men that all we did was live, breathe, and sleep sports.
Okay.
We took pride in, just hard work,
right?
Knowing how to just be that dominant and outwork the competition. No matter what sport it was, we just had a good 6 or 7 years there where it was just phenomenal athletes. And it wasn't that everybody was just that gifted.
Right.
It was just hard work, like walking from one end of town to the next, dribbling the basketball with your non-dominant hand, making sure that we stayed close knit together.
Right.
And it just gave us a great opportunity to be successful. And it led me on to my college career when I ran track at the University of Akron.
Oh, okay.
So it was a great thing, a small community, but
Yep.
there was a tight group of athletes that we had.
Who's a
there.
couple of guys you said a lot of outstanding out there? Who's a
We-
couple of guys you played with during your time there?
We in the high school at that time was older than me was Brian Winston, Kevin Winston,
Oh, yeah,
Philip
yeah.
Thompson, my cousin.
Okay, yeah, Big
Um,
Phil, yeah.
And the Taylors, Buzzy Taylor, John Taylor,
Right.
Troy Taylor.
Yeah.
Then in my years, Otis Winston.
Yes.
One of the best athletes that I've ever seen play,
Oh, yeah.
jump, do anything.
Yes.
Was a very influential part of my life. He was like a brother to me.
Right.
And he kind of took me under his wing, and it was just understood
Yeah.
that mediocrity it's not allowed around us.
A lot of competition.
Yes,
Also,
yes,
that type of athleticism.
Yes, and it was expected, man. So
Right.
Toronto was a good place for us. It filled that void at that particular time, and I went
Right.
and traded for the world.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. And then you went to Akron,
Oh yeah.
ran track in college.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How many years did you run track in college?
2.
2 years?
Yeah,
ago?
2
Okay.
years, and then I got an injury. And then
okay.
I came back home, and track and field is very difficult because being a sprinter, you have to exert a lot of force, and sometimes injury is a part of it.
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of your body properly the way it's supposed to, once you get a hamstring injury, it's kind of hard to fight back from that.
Let me ask you a question, and this may be putting the cart before the horse, but I know we'll get into it. You said about the part about taking care of your body.
Yes.
For me, anyway, watching sports I've always done. I played when I was in high school, but you hear that a lot about with LeBron James.
Yes.
The Tom Brady's of the world,
Yes.
who have that long time careers where they've been playing and have played a lot longer than most. And people talk about the way they eat to take care of their body. They say LeBron spends $1 million a year on his body.
Yeah.
It was never that way back when
No.
we were in school.
No.
So is there anything that you do now that relates to that?
Yeah. The number one thing is hydration, making sure your body is able to get the correct water in it. And once you're able to do that, it eliminates some of the cramping, because that water fuels through your body,
Right.
And it helps you perform,
Right.
so you always got to stay hydrated. And the other things is rest,
Okay.
recovery, and sleep. Okay. A lot of people want to say, hey, let's train them hard. Let's work them hard. That doesn't equal success.
Right.
You think about you being real tired. Are you able to perform at your best ability?
Not at all.
No, neither are athletes. So that's kind of when we were younger, that's what was pounded into us.
Yes.
Hard work, hard work, hard work. Yeah, we want to work hard, but you also want to work smart. And you actually have to fuel your body. So when you go out to perform, you're doing it at your highest level.
Okay, good deal. And so you had an injury, which kind of shortened your career as far as in college.
Yeah.
Fast forward, you come back to the area.
Mm-hmm.
When I found you, you were coaching, but where did your coaching start?
It started with the Mingo Chiefs.
Okay, so that was the first time you actually did any kind of formalized coaching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it started
Pee-wee football.
Pee-wee football with the Mingo Chiefs, and I first went in as an assistant coach.
Right.
And when I went in as assistant coach, it was, we called it preseason.
Yeah.
And, I just always had the dream of just wanting to do more.
Right.
So I was seeing some things that I particularly didn't think that will.
So
that
your
would
son
make
was
us,
playing already?
Yes.
So your son was playing. You're on the sideline watching?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I wanted to step in, and I just seen a lack of fire.
Right.
Okay. So I thought I could go get some matches and some wood, and to create something that was dynamic.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I did that, the head of the organization came to me and said, I think I want you to be a head coach. And I was like, wait. I'm here to encourage, I'm here to build confidence, but I don't know much about the game of football.
Right.
And he said, when I watch these kids literally want to walk through the wall for you, you don't got to know much about the game of football.
Right.
So that was kind of how I started. And then, at that point you start to study.
Yes.
You start to learn some things about the game that, at that age, with Pee Wee football, you don't have to be well diverse in X and O's, but you got to know a few things.
Right.
So I did enough to make it past,
Yeah.
but had a whole lot of energy and drive. And the kids they took that, they made it their own. And there was a lot of noise being made. And it was just all energy and effort. And those are the two E's that I always strive over: energy and effort.
Now, you said that was the Mingo Chiefs. That was Jonathan was down there?
Yes, Jonathan was down there.
What year did Jonathan graduate? You remember?
Jonathan graduated in 2017.
Okay, yeah, 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that I was trying to figure out. I knew you was at the Chiefs, and then Weirton. I know we'll get to that.
No, we didn't get to Weirton.
Oh, you were never at Weirton.
Chiefs and came straight to the Tigers.
And that you know what I think happened? I think it was either a preview or something that I seen, but it was at Weirton, and you were on the field coaching it. Like, okay, that makes sense. I was trying to figure out when you were ever. So now I'm trying to think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I just was trying to figure out where that might have been. Okay. So they asked you to be a head coach. You say yes. You finally accept. You say yes. You start the kids. Did the kids? Two questions. Did the kids take to you immediately? Was there any problem with the kids at all?
Oh,
your adrenaline.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of I would say parental influence into the kids.
That was going to be the second question.
Yes.
I didn't know what you said about the kids, but then what I want to know is what about the parents?
Yes. So the kids, it took a while for them to adapt to the style of coaching that I had.
The intensity.
Yes, the intensity. Because they were used to everybody, saying, "Hey, little Johnny," or "Jonathan, this is okay." And
because at that age, in this area, believe it or not, at that age, that's why we started Steubenville Tigers. At that age, in this area, baseball is king for that age group.
Yes.
Anywhere from 5 to 12, and that's a whole different type of. That's almost more participatory than it is intense.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure, like you said, it took them a while to get adjusted to that intensity, huh?
Oh yeah.
And then as that happened, what about with the parents?
Well, it was tough when I first came on board. There was a lot of adversity.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff that I used to have to take home, and I didn't understand because I didn't understand the politics of it. And how you would be put in situations and people would expect things from you just because they feel like they helped you get in that position. So it was kind of hard for me because I was never a yes man.
Yeah.
So the opportunity was there. I took it.
You're right.
But it was kind of difficult for a while until I decided one day to be a leader, you cannot be afraid of confrontation.
Exactly.
So I adapted that. I lived by it. And the first people who respected me was the kids.
Right.
So I stopped worrying about the parents. And it was just the opportunity to say, hey, listen, I'm here to do the best for your kid. I'm going to give them the best. I'm going to coach them up and I'm going to develop them. But if you don't want them to be here, you can take them home. and that's kind of, hey, we can refund you. We can refund your money. So that's kind of how it was. Like, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So at that point, I had to make a conscious decision to have a backbone.
Right.
If you're going to do this, you're going to do it for the longevity. And if you really love this, as long as you're doing right by these people's kids, it don't matter what they really say.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how we took that approach.
Now, at the point that I came and was recruiting you or asked you, I can't remember the exact day and time or how that happened, but I assume it was off season.
Yeah.
What was your decision? Was it hard at all?
Well, let's go back to
because you had known us because we had played against you guys.
Let's go back to the adversity situation. And it's just like we know with anything.
Yeah.
Being a young black man in a situation of what they looked at as of power. If your voice is too loud, they try to remove you. So there was a silent meeting with the organization. One of the parents, their kids wasn't getting enough playing time. And, they kind of knew somebody that knew somebody. So, like I said, my whole thing was, am I treating your child fair?
Right.
Has there been anything done that would be a situation where you would feel like I should not be coaching or
Okay.
in this position. And then next thing you know, a silent meeting was taken. And then next thing you know, I was being removed.
So you might have came to us.
I did.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, maybe I don't know if I told you
Mhm.
then, but I was already recruiting you though. I had already seen that.
yeah.
I remember specifically we was going to have a game against you guys or something. And I remember firing our guys up
Mhm.
because of you.
Oh.
Because I said, listen, them kids ain't gonna be scared. Montgomery, man, he fires them kids up. I'm telling you guys. I remember like trying to pump us up
Yeah.
because we had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And so what
Yeah, a lot
happens
of
is we
talent out
just
there.
assumed we were
Yes.
going to win, but you know how sports are. Anybody could beat anybody on any given day.
Right.
And I remember doing that. And so then as the time came, I remember talking to a couple guys. I don't know if it was Melvin, could have been Tyrone or somebody. And I was saying, man, I tell you what, it'd be nice if Montgomery was coaching with us. Like he got a kid playing. I remember asking that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so then, okay, that makes more sense now that you came and we probably said right away, yes, I'm sure I probably just said, okay,
Yeah.
start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like start meetings. It might have been
Yeah.
off season. Start meetings tomorrow.
Right. I remember it like yesterday. It was
Is that right?
It was
Okay.
a situation where, I wasn't going to be coaching that following year.
Yeah.
And then, I forget where we ran into each other, but you had approached me and said, hey, we do have, a spot
Yeah.
available if you were willing, you and your son.
Yeah.
So we kind of laughed about it. And I talked to my wife at the time,
Mhm.
and we were, on board about bringing Jonathan there.
Yeah.
And boy, was it a great ride.
Let me tell you something. We're going to be doing a Tiger show. I'm gonna try to make it a big deal. We're going to try to have like maybe the GCC, and we're just going to do a Tiger day and talk about all the teams and the players. And you probably will respect this because we're getting ready to get in all the athletes that you now train.
Okay.
And the hardest question anybody asks you is who's your favorite? Hardest question, who's the most talented? Hardest question, who's the most underrated? Hardest question, who's the hardest worker?
Yeah.
Jonathan Blackman, for me, is one of those kids that you love to coach.
Yeah.
Man, I think of him. And when I think of him, it's a whole different mode. Like we have guys, there's probably about 5 guys that he's with.
Yeah.
Then you got guys, and you say maybe the most talented, the toughest, things like that. But I just wanted to say that to John about John. I ain't seen Jonathan in a while, but to say it to you, and you can, if you see his mom, related to his mom, what have you, great kid. He was man. Let me tell you something. He was one of them guys that really you knew why you were doing it.
Yes.
And you felt that you were doing it for every kid, but there were certain kids that you knew you were making a difference. He was a great teammate, great leader, silent leader.
Yeah,
and all that.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to give him his flowers there. So you come on to the Tigers. We get to the Tigers. We go through that, some success. I'm not going to go in all your success. You and Quentin, them guys, and Jet always talk about the 3-peat you had.
Yeah, yes.
I ain't even gonna mention that 3-peat that you had.
You're right. You're
crap.
right.
Anyway,
you can never forget that though, man.
But no, I guess not. But when I have you back, we'll talk more about the Tigers. I want to get straight into now the last year that I remember anyway, you being with the Tigers. I remember, or maybe 2 years before you actually left the Tigers. You were trying to start this. You wanted to get track involved with the Tigers. Yeah. And I said, oh man, that's a great idea. We always wanted a track club. And so you said, well, let's do this. What I didn't realize at the time, and you might've told me, I had so much stuff going on, but you had a vision of exactly what you was expecting that track club team or whatever we did with the Tigers, where you wanted to see it go. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, with all the work we had, we didn't have a lot of time. You needed to do what you needed to do, and you did it. Mm-hmm. And before I knew it, you were doing your own thing. Yeah. Let's start there.
Well, at first it was like exactly what you said. I wanted to do a track club because I was a track athlete.
Right.
So, and I was well seasoned in knowing exactly how to develop athletes in track and field. But I had so much respect for Mrs. Pat Herring.
Oh, okay.
And the Steubenville Striders.
Yes.
That I had to come to myself with the grips to just say, hey, I don't want to make that noise right there. Right. Because she, at the time, her husband,
competing, you mean, like making it seem like it was a competition?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I had so much respect for her and her husband, Herschel Herring.
Yes.
At the time, that I decided not to give up on my dream of what I wanted to do, but just do it in a different manner.
Right.
So instead of the track club that I wanted at that time, I went and did. I said, "Hey, I want to train athletes, all type of athletes." So it basically started off with football. Okay, it started off with some track and field. So, but I made it a blanket speed and agility academy, so everybody would be welcome.
Correct.
So we, like I said, track, football, some baseball here and there, maybe some basketball, but I started everything. I call it now I say from the trunk to the lab, because I started out of the trunk of my car.
I remember.
So how it happened is I started going to local tracks, local fields, and using those, weather permitting, to train these athletes.
You know something I do want to say also? You bought equipment.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Like, you bought some equipment. You put some money, your own sweat and tears money into starting this out. The reason I want to say that is, my wife used to talk about it a lot, how much money the Tigers spend. When you do stuff like that, people want to comment on the money a lot.
Yeah.
And I never said this publicly, but there would be every now and then there'd be a couple people that would say, "Oh yeah, they stealing money." They stealing money. It might even have said me specifically. Yeah. I remember one time. Anyway.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. and I and you're supposed to, you keep it moving like I did, because it just wasn't true or what have you. However, it is hurtful when you know how much money you spend of your own money. Yeah. People running their mouth about something they don't even know. And so I want to give you props for even that part, because I remember part of the things we were talking about was, I was thinking about, because I was already in that mode, uniforms, equipment, registration, money for, because I was in that mode, running, you got to copy and make sheets to sign up, and then we got to go get a field possibly. Do we have to pay to get the field? The trouble we had trying to get, Steubenville public schools at the very beginning, we were doing that, and we didn't have a lot of money. And so I seen a lot of dollar signs in the middle of your vision, my vision, because like I said, we had always wanted to do that. And so I have to give you your flowers and let people know a lot of money. If somebody was invested, you'd have told people, like, this is how much it would cost to invest in this, because this is how much money I already got into it. So I just I didn't want to skip over that. Like it didn't happen. There was some time that you had to spend your own money.
Yeah.
This is no different than any other business venture.
Right.
So go ahead.
You got to spend money to make money.
That's for sure.
Okay. And it was.
But when you first started, it wasn't about making money.
It wasn't.
It was about to help the kids.
Yes.
And you were going to do the same thing that, unfortunately, in our Black community, when we start something, we do more work on our backs than worry about the money. The Tigers should have worried about the money more. And what I mean by that, use it as a vehicle to make money, so that you could reinvest it. But usually you're so worried about people thinking that you're in it for the money that you don't do that. Because I remember telling you, saying one specific thing. Well, the kids, they're gonna need to be able to do this for free. We ain't gonna be able to charge them. Yeah. Like, and that was just my stupidity. And not stupid. I mean, not in a bad. I mean, in a bad way. It's a good thought, but you can't keep nothing going if everything gonna be free.
No, you can't.
You just can't. I mean, but I did. All I knew is I had the energy then. Yeah. And I knew it had to be done, and I didn't want money to be something that it didn't get done. And money ultimately is why you can't do it at a better level.
That's right.
And so ultimately the kids will suffer when you're trying to do it for the kids. They suffer because you didn't worry about trying to make it a money-making entity so that you can get bigger and better. And so you were coming out of your trunk, your equipment, buying your own equipment, trying to figure out what you're going to do for the kids. Go ahead.
Well, it was the vision that kept me going.
Okay.
Many tough days.
Yeah.
As far as, using gas money to drive this place, having equipment that breaks, then have to replace that, worrying about how we had to charge just the minimum just to get by, because we were afraid of people to make those comments to us about it was all about money. And I just thank God for all the good parents that I've had and the support I had over the years, because it gave me an opportunity to really understand you can't make this happen without money.
Exactly.
So we had to lose some people
Mhm.
to gain everything that we have today.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
possibly end up being able to help those people you lost.
that's right. That's right. That's right. And it was tough. It was tough because no, you don't want to lose anything.
No.
You don't want to have those minor setbacks or minor what you call failures, but they are necessary for success.
Right.
And people don't understand that. People look at what we have today and they think, well, he has this, that, and the other. Well, how did it get there? Did you see the trunk being popped open and me dragging equipment out?
Exactly.
Did you see the rain coming and me having to cancel sessions and have to
Right.
refund money back to people that I really
Yeah.
didn't even have?
Yes.
You know, that I put into equipment. So those were the times where the struggle was real.
Yes.
You know, but the vision had to be greater than the struggle. So that's kind of what helped us stay afloat at the time.
Mhm.
And it was just it's just a lot of drive, opportunity, a lot of praying,
Right.
a lot of just staying focused and believing
Right.
that helped us, to get from the trunk into now a 15,000 square foot building.
And Coach Tay, let me just say this. I don't know anything specific, but I never say you've been knowing me. I've been knowing you. I don't never say anything that I can't tell a person. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then sometimes you say stuff that if you're not actually telling them, it could come off if somebody decides to go say Max said this, Coach Tay said this.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I had what would be perceived as negative words about you wanting to charge kids.
Yes.
Now, I never said anything like your motive.
Right.
I never ever question your motive.
Yeah.
But I say that to be real.
Mm-hmm.
I say that to say that always give each other a chance to explain.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that I said anything that was major. I don't think there's anybody ever said that I said anything real negative about what you were doing. But my point is, I might have said, well, man, they should go to Tay's thing. And somebody might say, well, he's charging this amount. I said, well, we'll have to talk. I might have said something like this. Let's talk to Tay. We need to try to deal it for the free. They know them kids can't afford it.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that now because I try, you try to learn, to learn from things. And like you just said, you went from the trunk to how many square?
15,000.
You couldn't have did it with the business plan I would have tried to have you have.
No.
You'd have never been able to do that.
No, and when you understand your heart and you understand exactly what your design is, sometimes you have to have you got close your ears off and start and keep walking.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, now we have something that's able to help everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I would have listened to all that back then, I would still be in my trunk.
And make no mistake, I always supported what you were doing. I always supported you.
Right.
That's not what some people may misunderstand. What I was saying is it's more about me questioning the business plan.
Yeah.
Saying it in a way that it actually would be.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't going to get kids if you charge it.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not, well, why is he doing it? Or
right.
He's just trying to get money. It was never that. My point would have been at the time, if I did make any, type of thing. Because I really think it's important for us to know that going forward.
Yeah.
Anybody out here that's trying to do something for people, I learned it with the Tigers. We always kept our fees low.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always hear from people, well, why are we only charging this? This costs this costs that. And I'd say, well, ain't nobody got the money. And I would always hear somebody say, well, I seen his mom coming and she looked like a brand new. She got her hair done, her nails did.
That's right.
And I always took that as a stereotypical way to blame somebody else. Let's just handle it. I always thought, let's go out to the community and make the community help these kids.
Yeah.
When it should be both.
Yes.
And so now I realize that and I see it. You charge the fee for what it should be.
Yes.
For how much sweat and tears. And so you can reinvest into the same people, the community as a whole that you're trying to help. So let's talk about this facility. How did you get it?
Well, the facility was got because I was training down at Steubenville High School in their indoor facility.
Okay.
And
now in the meantime, you are a Big Red coach, varsity coach.
Yeah.
And you're handling a lot of their speed and conditioning and their agility.
Yeah.
Or all of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, yes, handling it all year long.
All year long. great strides was made during the time you were there
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
with those kids.
Mhm.
We might have to talk about that at another
Yeah.
time. I hope,
Yeah.
will you come back?
Oh sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So I always try to get people to come back because I get so interested in these stories because I think we need to know it, because we really do ourselves disservices when we talk about things that we don't really know or
Mhm.
understand, or if we just walk around and don't know what's in front of us. And so I wanted to put that in there because I know that Big Red, whether Reno, whoever, the Big Red school district, you were there for a while,
Yeah.
and they gave you an opportunity there.
Yes. Yes, he did.
However, you also put a whole lot in it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so if anything, it's even.
Yeah.
They gave you as much as you gave them, and you gave them, or you gave them even more of you uh, than you needed to, or what have you. But I wanted to acknowledge that part because that's what's needed. Our school system, our community needs to give people like yourself who are trying to do things for the community access
Yes.
to what they already have, to the resources that they have available to them. And so this is an instance that maybe they did. I'm not going to get into whether they could have did more, but I wanted to just drop that in there.
Well, I will. But
Okay, go ahead.
The fact of the matter is, like I said before, you're there for a service and for a reason.
Yes.
You make the most positive impact with the time that God gives you.
Yes.
And a lot of people think that adversity comes in and everything is a negative. That might seem that way. And I tell people all the time, they're like, well, why aren't you there anymore? This isn't that. And I'm like, listen, nothing was done to hurt me. It helped me.
Right.
You know, I still was able to rebound and still have the same vision when I was at Steubenville as I had
And
when
with the
I
Tigers.
with the Tigers.
Yep.
I never let anybody shun me exactly from what I was trying to do.
Mhm.
So it was all about helping kids. So
Exactly.
some of the same kids we had back in 2005, we had when we won the state title in 2017.
Exactly.
I was very familiar with them.
Yep.
So I don't need any praise or anything from them. The
Right.
kids tell the story.
Exactly.
Okay, the teams, the years that I was there, look what the teams did.
Exactly.
Look what they've done since I've been gone.
Exactly.
You know, so it's a little bit different. Not to say I was a reasoning for anybody going anywhere, but
Well,
I was an addition to
you're
it.
just as much reason as anybody else that they love to give to
Exactly.
only one person.
Yes.
So I don't know
Yes.
why you don't need to take a backseat to anybody. Whatever you did,
Right.
you did.
Right.
The proof is in the pudding. All of that.
Right.
And so again, I appreciate that because that's a good thing. Because almost what you said is because that's how we did the Tigers. No matter
Right.
what we wasn't able to get, we knew what we were doing it for. As long as God gave us the grace and the energy and the stamina to do what we were going to do, nothing was going to stop us.
Right. No.
And so that's what I see in what you've done. And so, like you said, I know you're a spiritual guy.
Yeah.
And so it just reminded me of the Joseph story. You know,
Yeah.
what you had meant bad for me, God made good.
Right.
So
right. And like I said, I don't even I don't even look at it as bad because I thank God and I thank them for the opportunity.
for sure.
Because without the opportunity, I'm
For
not
sure.
saying I wouldn't be here today.
Well, you'd be here, just would be a different way.
It would be a different way.
Yes.
So, Coach Reno in his program and Steubenville City Schools,
Yes.
I always have the ultimate respect for them
Exactly.
for the opportunity that they gave me.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I learned so much during that time. And he's a great mentor, a great person to be around. So
Right.
I could understand the business aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a very business-like person.
Oh yeah.
And being a head coach, you just sit back and you watch the way he does things.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's organized. Everything's the way it's supposed to be,
Right.
and it runs like a well-oiled machine.
There's I'm sure in the future we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, and it's always I believe, because I've been in places and I talk to people, always seemed like I've been perceived as somebody that's a negative towards Coach Reno, and that's just so far from the truth.
No.
The truth is the truth, and if I decide to say it,
exactly.
I say it.
Exactly.
But the one thing that I've always said, and I will say now, is he built something that is just remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you recognize it and you get involved in it and you see those things,
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem because I'm coming at you now. I'm talking to you. I before we talked, I talked about some collaborations, giving you ideas, or you telling me what some of the things you're going to do, and I'm loving it. I'll be saying, "Oh man, Coach Tate, you could help this, you could help that, you can help this." You'll tell me, "Well, no, that's not in the business plan, or that's not this, or that's not that."
Right.
But same thing. So when I look at the Big Red system, it's not so much as do I think it's remarkable and them guys have done a great job. My point would be how much. What does it say? Whoever much is given,
Much is
required.
Yeah.
And so again,
Yeah.
that ain't me that said that.
That's right.
The Lord said that.
Yeah.
I just happen to believe in what he says.
Yeah.
And so I look at those as in myself and any of us. If you're given a lot of things, and we was given a lot of kids. We was given a lot of great kids, a lot of great opportunities. And so therefore we have a lot of responsibility, and nobody should be shirking their responsibility.
Right.
Keeping on moving on. You was at the Big Red. You was that Big Red football team. How many years? 4 years? Were you 5 years?
Yeah.
And a lot of success during that period of time. A lot of speed. Under your one thing I can say that I'm saying, again, somebody can tell me different. From all the big years I've watched Big Red, knowing, coaching kids that I've coached and all these things, the guys that played when I went to school, and looking at Big Red, one of the things about Big Red, they've always had a great offensive line. And when I say great, not even talking about the talent. I'm just talking about whatever they had, they always got the most out of that line. Yeah. And you guys, you were blessed to be there, which might possibly be the best offensive line they ever had.
Right.
And if you name the top five, maybe the least talented.
Yeah.
But their footwork.
Well, I'll tell you,
they were big and had footwork. Did you have anything to do with that?
Oh yeah. Well, let's first go back to the first thing you said. The consistency of Coach Joe Sutkoch. He's the GOAT. He's the guru. He knows exactly what he's doing with them, and that guy. He's a motivator. He does exactly what he's supposed to do, and that's why the offensive line is always the way it is.
And here's some more controversy, real quick. That's why I say he could and could be the best offensive line coach in the state of Ohio, high school, without from there be somewhere at another level. Not that he wants to. I'm just saying what I watch, because I used to always go to the 2-a-days and to the practices in the summer. That's the best place to go, is down where the linemen are.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Coach Filtz.
Yeah.
And Coach Filtz was one of the best there was to do it with the offensive linemen. And JoJo learned from him and then got those things. And when you watch JoJo coach the offensive line, he just knows exactly what he's doing. And I worked with a guy, Chuck Watson. Yeah. Chuck Watson played against him. Okay. Said he's the only guy he's ever seen reach 2 holes and could block somebody from the center position.
He brings a lot of fire.
A lot of fire, all that.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, but to me, his demeanor and the way he coaches, I've never seen an offensive coordinator with that demeanor. They don't go together. Yeah. Like it would be like you, to me, you couldn't be an offensive coordinator with the way you coached, because offensive coordinators are cerebral and they are 3 and 4 steps ahead. So they can't be looking at the play and screaming at the play that's going on. That's my personal opinion and what I've seen. But my point in saying that is, like you said, that you're exactly right. So outside of that, let's talk about that footwork.
Well, state championship is always over in December. Mm-hmm. So January, we hit it. Reaction drills, speed work. The offensive line was doing the same thing as the running backs and the receivers and defensive backs. Yeah. And it's muscle memory.
Yes.
The more and more you do something over and over again, the more it becomes who you are.
Okay. So
their footwork, and they weren't big, huge guys. Mm-hmm. They were athletic, they were tall, but they were all, Coach Joe already had them physical.
Yep.
But now when you put the footwork, and now they can move laterally.
Yes.
Now you are able to just move in ways that is just unfair to the other squad. And that's what they were able to do.
Especially when normally you would in the past, I think of some of the guys, and I won't say any names, some of the guys who were big but no footwork. Right. So a lot of times the stretches were not called.
Right.
It was usually ISOs, straight ahead blocking with these big guys. They have no lateral movement. They can't get out in front of that. back. And I'm not saying every specific situation, but I'm saying those are things that adding what you added allowed play calls for that offensive line to do something that maybe normally they would not have been able to do. No matter how much they worked, they didn't have that speed and agility in their feet, that muscle memory that you brought to that. At least that's my opinion and what I seen.
Well, we just put it like this. Okay, let's been talking about being a spiritual guy.
Okay.
You like Kool-Aid, right?
Yes.
Okay. But what about that church punch?
Oh,
When you drink that, when you add that little Sprite or that, or
when you add a little
twang to it,
yes,
it becomes much different.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly
so,
right.
And it's something extra that was added, a little bit more flavor put into it.
Right.
That was just very hard to deal with.
Takes you to the next level.
Takes you to the next
I mean,
level.
you can be at this level and work to get to that level and work to get that level. But there's certain years, certain times where if you don't have what can bring you to here, this is not good enough.
Right.
Sometimes it's good enough.
Right.
And so I seen that. And so you're there. You guys had a state championship. You go on and you're no longer with the team.
Okay.
What was the move? How did that happen?
The move came is very hard for me because I still had a son that was on the team. Now, I never made coaching about my kids.
Right.
But
still,
it was the decision that had to be made. Do I coach this final year out with him and then make my move, or do I make my move now?
Yeah.
When we're on top.
Right.
Both of them in the backfield in the state championship. You can't leave no better than that.
Correct.
And I'll tell anybody, I did not have an influential thing to do with X's and O's when it came to that.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing. But my relationships with the kids, helping them, stay healthy, encouraging them, making sure that their footwork, their agility, and speed was there. That was me.
Okay.
So I had to leave that situation to pursue something greater.
Right.
And something greater, not saying that wasn't great, but something that was our own. Something now I was the boss. Right. Something that I seen where other people can now come in, and that it wasn't just Steubenville kids.
Exactly.
So, which leads me today. Now I train kids from every high school in the area, outside of the area, all the way up to Akron, down by Cambridge. So now Western PA, we've opened up a gateway.
Right.
So everybody can get the speed and agility work.
Now, so let's talk about that a little. Let's get into that. You're coming back, so some of the things that we don't fill in, we can fill in later. You got your spot down in Toronto, right? Where's your spot at, Coach?
It's on 4th Street in Toronto.
Toronto, Ohio.
Yeah,
how do people get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me through Facebook, Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy on Facebook.
Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy on Facebook.
That's our biggest platform that we use.
Okay.
Or you can look at our website.
Your website, okay.
EOSASpeed.com.
EOSA Speed, Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy .com.
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
Get a hold of you online. Get a hold of you on Facebook. You're in Toronto, Ohio.
Yes.
What kind of hours do you operate? How does what
our training hours operate 8 to 8. Okay.
So 8 in the morning, 8 in the evening.
8.
Okay.
Yeah. So that time fluctuates during the school hours. I do personal training. I'm also a personal trainer.
Okay.
So I train adults.
Oh, adults also.
I train adults that want to have their fitness goals.
Yeah.
No matter what they are, we have 45-minute to an hour sessions with them.
Okay.
To help them reach their nutritional.
How long have you been doing that?
2 years.
2 years. How's that going?
It's going great. We have a full 24-hour gym now in Toronto. So
okay. Same place? Right next.
Same
place. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we have our main area that is where we do the speed and agility work.
Right.
Then we have a actual gym on the opposite side, and then we have a rest and recovery center on the other side of that.
Nice. Now all in the same building.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Nice. Coach. So 8 to 8. What out? And so then you do. So then I got a kid, let's say he's 9, and I want him to be the next Adrian Peterson, and he's 170 pounds, 5'2". And I come to tell you to make him Adrian Peterson. What are you going to tell me?
Well, I just tell hey, listen, we go to work. I can't promise any, and it's all about, because stuff like that is just what you're doing at home, basically.
Right,
And I ask those questions.
Yeah.
What is that? What is his or her activity at home?
Right.
Okay, if you want them to lose weight, how are we going to address this outside of my 1 day a week that I'm putting in with them?
Right.
Because it's not only about the training.
Mhm.
This is about exercise at home.
Yep.
What is he doing the other 6 days?
Right.
Or she doing the other 6 days?
Exactly.
So we try to come up with a plan
Okay.
to try to help the kid go through the situation and be comfortable in it, so it's not so challenging that they want to shut down.
You've had a lot of kids that I know. I know a lot of kids. I went down there when I interviewed you. You had a lot of pictures up on the wall and stuff. What's a kid that comes in an intense situation? My son's a sophomore. He's got great talent. I need him to get to the next level. I come in. What's somebody that you don't have to give names unless you want to, but give us a description of somebody that wants it and they're trying to get it, a state title in track or something. How does their training go? What do you suggest they do? Is it a 3 time a week deal?
No. My approach is the same, whether it's 5 years old or whether they're a senior in high school.
Okay.
It's their responsibility to go home and to do their homework.
Okay.
So our training is electrifying.
Okay.
We try to put it on a platform that we always give them the why. Okay. So 45 minutes that I'm going to give you, it's going to be so much more than a person thinks, because the kid will start to learn and develop their own. The same things that I'm telling them, they actually learn how to apply that themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're a track athlete and we're studying block work, and you got a set of blocks at home, I expect you to use them. So when you come back to me, now we're not at step 1 anymore. We're at 2 or 3.
Right. Exactly.
So we've been very, very blessed with having athletes that are willing to have the extra drive, that they do the extra that is required for them to win the state championships and conference championships or anything like that. I got an athlete right now that, we're getting ready to go to the New Balance Nationals, which is the largest high school track and field meet in the country.
Nice.
And it happened because she just works.
Right.
And when you find a person that works and they have tunnel vision, there's nothing that's going to stop them but themselves.
Right.
So when you have that mirror image and it's just right in front of your face, the collaboration is so electrifying that it just has to happen. So and that's kind of where we're at right now, is like I'm building some different stuff right now just off of that. This isn't normal everyday sports enhancing that's just going on. Right. We have athletes that are playing at the Division 1, Division 2 level, and it's happening every single year. It's not a fly by night type of situation.
Well, that segues us right into this. Take about 2 to 5 minutes. And I know you're a humble guy, but let's brag for a little bit. What have you guys accomplished in the time that you've been here? What are you proud about?
We have,
toot your own horn.
Well, 21 state titles. Okay.
Of kids who have trained with you guys.
Kids that have trained with us, that parents have been locked in week after week, just embracing the opportunity.
Yeah.
Not only do these kids are they winning these state titles religiously every single year, they are also going to school on scholarship to do something that they love to do.
Right.
And a lot of people, I will say this, a lot of people, they kind of see these things happen, but never look at the underlying situation of how do they keep occurring.
Right.
So
there's some common denominator.
There's a common denominator in every situation. So we talk about this young lady that I'm training right now. She is now the fastest female athlete in the 60-meter dash to ever come from this area.
Is that right?
She's not from my hometown.
Right.
She's not from the school that I used to work at.
Right.
Just a general kid that came in that wanted to work hard. And anybody can get it if you put the work in. Okay. But we're not even talking about a state championship athlete, because she hasn't won a state championship yet.
Right.
Hopefully she will this Saturday in Geneva, Ohio. But she's bypassed that now and has become one of the top 32 in the nation.
Is that right?
So now we're not talking local stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking
National.
national. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sebastian Spencer from Weirton,
Right.
he
Yep.
was also a New Balance national
Right.
recipient,
Yeah.
but COVID hit, so we couldn't go.
Oh, okay.
So now this is 2 athletes.
Mhm.
The normal trainer never has one.
Yeah. Mhm.
Big ones do. Like now what makes you big? So that's the thing that we're
Yeah.
looking at. Like, so all the accolades don't go back to the
Right.
school.
Mhm.
You know, who is actually
Right.
putting these peas and these carrots and these potatoes in this pot
Yeah, and
and making it good?
I believe that's something that you have to wrestle with, and doing things like this is going to help. But you have to wrestle with, like you said, we've never had access to this in this area. So we don't even know how to promote it. We don't know how to give it the flowers that it should have, because like you said, we're so used to giving the flowers to the schools themselves that the kids are there.
Right.
And some kid, and maybe there was no other opportunity. Now we have some help for our youth, and the parents can kind of take some things into their own hands and say, listen, I can take him to the Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy and help out. I can get my kid even a little further, give them a head start, give them, like you said, a little, would you say a little Sprite in the Kool-Aid?
Oh yeah. And that's what it's about, man. It is like, I'm gonna tell you, like little baby said,
Mhm.
I ain't a goat, but I fit the description.
Okay.
So it ain't about being him,
Right.
but it's about what's being put out there.
Right.
Like, and you know, it is sometimes kind of discouraging, because it's like you don't have a problem to giving it to this person.
Yeah.
And you see it, and you don't want it to come out your mouth.
Right. Because I remember when we did the Tigers, and I used to always tell the coaches when we first started, like, if we can become as successful as we can, we will only be 10% of it.
Yeah.
The kids is going to be 80% of it.
That's right.
And then the other 10% is going to come in, whether it's other people supporting the community itself or whatever. But our 10%, we got to give 100% of that 10%. But then, even like in your case, I'll say the same thing. I don't know, you know better than me, but I'll say you're only 10% of those kids' success, and they're 80% of it. Then there's 10%. Some of that 10% is your journey that you put on just to have access to the facility for them to come to, and for you to be in their way. So again, there's a lot involved in trying to help a community, to help kids, help each other. And everybody should get in where they fit in, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing I want to give you props for, because a lot of people would tell me, and biggest thing about the Tigers was just access. We gave kids in Steubenville a chance to play tackle football.
Yeah.
When we grew up, you could play tackle football in Mingo, Smithfield, Brilliant, Toronto, all the places around, but you couldn't play it in Steubenville. Yeah. Made no sense. Now your kid can be trained, if they're anywhere in the Ohio Valley, at the Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy.
Yes, sir.
21 state titles.
Yeah.
Being involved and being on the national stage, the regional stage.
Yes.
You had athletes doing that. You want to shout out any names at all, or of some of the people who've won state titles that worked with you or anything like that? Or
yeah. The first one that I would want to kind of go in order would be Donovan Spencer.
Okay, he was the first.
Okay. He was the first.
Okay,
that actually won a state title, but he won multiples.
Okay,
and then of course the collaboration with Steubenville High School.
Right,
I trained them. That goes on the wall.
Oh yeah,
yes sir.
Oh yeah,
And then after Donovan, his brother Sebastian came.
Right.
Okay, so which was a 7-time state title winner without even running his senior year, which was the COVID year.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from that point, you had Justin Wright, which was a sprinter, long jump champion out of Wellsville High School.
Okay.
Okay.
And he was training with you.
Yes, he trained with me.
Okay.
Then
now all the training, the different sports, this is different training, or is all the training the same? You just get faster or quicker, and then you use it in your sport whatever way, or is it actual? you guys specialize in the actual sport?
First thing that you have to work on is athleticism.
Okay.
They have to be athletic. It has to be something electrifying to even take them to that level.
I see.
9 times out of 10, it's just they're already athletic.
Yeah. Right.
But you have to teach them how to nurture that, how to bring that to the next level so they can get over the top with that.
Okay.
Because you get in a championship, but everybody's good.
Everybody's good. You set them apart from the other great athletes.
Right.
They need some type of training, intensity, not necessarily intensity, support.
Yeah.
So
and that's the big thing about it. A lot of it is about just basically coaching and developing.
Okay.
Helping them through the situation where they might have a bad race in the semis. Not ran a PR, which is a personal record.
Okay.
And they come back and they're a little bit discouraged.
Yeah.
Can you really talk to them and get them to the point where they're ready to come back another 45 minutes later and run the finals and run the best time of their life?
Right.
So it's about helping them through the adversity that they go through, that everybody goes through in sports.
Yes.
So it's about that. You need a little bit of luck on your side.
For sure.
You got to stay healthy.
Healthy.
And I tell people all the time, everybody wants to be in a situation where they're in shape, right? That's in track and field. You hear that 100% of the time. Be in shape. 80% of it is being in shape. 100% of it is being healthy.
Right.
You got to be healthy.
I agree.
And that kind of helps us get them over the hump. A lot of it is about just preparation, just teaching them how to do things, giving them the why about everything. Okay, I tell people all the time, if somebody isn't talking to you and telling you what you're supposed to be doing about your craft, it's probably because they don't know.
Right.
So since I know, I'm gonna talk to you all day long, so you can never say Coach Tay didn't tell me.
Right.
So we have that type of relationship where I recite it to them and then they have to tell it to me back. We take minor tests like that. So that way, when they get in their blocks and I'm up in the stands, I don't have to go down and I don't have to worry about critiquing them because they already know.
Right.
Now, we might have a conversation behind the scenes afterwards if something isn't done correctly, but 9 times out of 10, they know what they're supposed to be doing. So it allows us to be successful like that because they're given the opportunity and basically given the information they need to get over the hump.
What about we talked about being healthy, being in shape, the training itself and all those things. What about mentally? Is there a lot of mental confidence, those type things? Is that something that the kids get from training from you guys? Is that anything that you specialize in?
That's kind of the ground floor that we start with, because even before we get to conference championships and state titles and stuff like that, there's a basic foundation of just training where they just come to me and they work with me 1 day a week on basic, just fundamentals, working on athleticism. During that situation, they understand that the lab is their safe haven.
Right.
Without minor mistakes, you're not going to have success. So they're allowed to make those there, and they're allowed to correct them.
Okay.
And we give them the time, whatever it is needed, so they can do that without criticism.
Right.
All right. Without any screaming or hollering or anything like that.
What? Wait. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
You saying there's no screaming and hollering in there?
Zero.
I don't believe that.
Zero.
Coach Tay, I've been around. So wait a minute. You found a way to kind of.
I had to learn.
Oh, okay.
That my way of, remember I told you earlier, hard work isn't always the answer.
Right.
Sometimes it's about rest, recovering.
Well, let me say this. I guess, you're right. I guess, you're right. I know what I meant to say. Are you still as intense as you always been?
I am.
Okay,
the fire now has never left.
So they're screaming and hollering when you're pushing.
Oh yeah, there's a difference.
I see what you mean.
There's a difference between just screaming and hollering because you're emotional.
I see.
Okay, and you don't know what to tell them.
There's a method to the madness, huh?
Then energy and saying, hey, you did a great job. But there's a positive part, and a child will pick up on that quicker than anybody.
I thought you were saying you come in the lab, you got 10 kids in there training, that when you come in there, it's going to be like a library.
No.
Okay.
There's no library.
All right. Okay. I didn't know. I was worried. I was getting ready to get worried. Okay. I was getting worried. But okay, we're getting Anything you want to drive home? You were naming some names, and I don't want you to go too much further, because what ends up happening, you miss someone.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want you to
Yeah.
go too much further, but I
Right.
do want to say congratulations.
Mhm.
What's the future look like?
The future is bright, man.
Okay.
Like right now, we are in championship week coming up,
Okay.
where I have a couple athletes that I'm training that's going to run for the indoor state championships.
Mhm.
And then after that, I'll be flying out to Boston, Massachusetts for the New Balance Nationals,
Okay.
which is the national indoor track and field
Mhm.
meet. So the future looks very promising.
When you say you're flying out, or you go to a regional championship, are you pretty much only support at that point, or is this part of the training? Is there something you do like
No, I'm coaching.
pre? So you're coaching,
Yeah.
and okay, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you actually give some. I see.
Yeah, so I'll
I
be
see.
there, and actually coaching her all the way through,
Okay.
and hoping to bring back some national recognition back to
Yeah.
the Ohio Valley.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the Facebook post I put up about Mrs. Jones, Miss Sierra Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and the success she's had with the cheering
Yeah,
team since she's
yeah.
been there. And for Black History Month, I just
Yes.
wanted her to be acknowledged, at least in my little sphere on my page, so to speak. And the same thing with you. Black History Month, we need role models.
Yes.
I think she's a perfect role model, because I said that on the post, what we wanted our kids to be and what we think they can be with some extra support. You love it when you see, well, what did they used to say with the 18? You love it when a plan comes
Plans
together.
come together, yeah.
And we've always wanted our kids to have access, confidence, learn at an early age about structure, like you said, and organization, and uh, teamwork, how to be a good teammate, and then leadership skills. You learn all that from the confidence you get as you go up. And so to see her go all the places she's been, we've always looking for Black teachers. She came back to become a teacher and give back, and then doing something that she's great at and what she loved, which was in the cheering, also what she did with the Tigers. To see her to get to where she heights, to where she's a 2-time champion now, something the Big Red had never achieved ever.
Yeah. So
And
when you look at that situation, like right there,
yeah,
that's 2-time state champion.
Yes.
Why isn't that woman being given her flowers? Just like, could you imagine?
Let me give an excuse. Let me give an excuse. When you don't have a structure that gives flowers to people,
Yeah,
that you normally wouldn't even give opportunity to.
Exactly.
You got to learn how to do that. And so my thing would be, is we need to push and urge. We need to make some calls sometimes, because just what you was getting ready to say, there's very few state titles in that building.
Very few.
And I remember when the football team won, the very first time they won it, I was in the halls.
Yeah.
And I know what changed. Life changed for every single person in the community.
Yeah.
And ever since then, that state title and anyone's after that has always meant a whole lot in everything. The flowers that's given, the power that's given, all of the respect that's given.
Yeah.
And I would hope that people come around the table, and say, listen, we have a treasure here. We have this happen. Let's put this out on the pedestal like we've put past. Because the baseball teams never won a state title. The basketball teams never won a state title. I don't think the whole wrestling team has never won a state title. Now, we've had an individual state title. The golf team has never won a state title. The swimming team never, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so now for this academy that Coach Montgomery from Toronto, by way from Steubenville, by way of Toronto, what you've accomplished, what you've done in getting these youth, helping them, bridge them, supporting them to these state titles, that word needs to get out there.
Yeah.
Because you need to become a role model for anybody else who's doing it. I think there is some other people who train in our area. I know Mr. Petaway, Coach Petaway. I know he does some things and does some training. And so these are people who you've been doing it longer than he has, at least here. So I'm sure looking at what you were doing made him see something that is possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's all kind of things that you become a trailblazer. Right. So that needs to be put out there.
And-
You're a
and-
trailblazer in this space now.
And when you, it's just like when you look at Mr. Pettaway, okay, you got athletes that, you know, he was very, very good
Yes,
at
for sure.
football.
For sure.
Okay,
And fast.
I might say even I might argue because I love track so much and say he's a fast track athlete.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so they need to give him his flowers
I agree.
because he is iconic.
I agree.
When it comes to that, like he you know, in the NFL.
And this is the thing. Remember, I just said I was going to, you know, give an excuse or at least a possible reason about when I talked about Mrs. Jones and her state titles, Coach Jones. That's why you're so important in your journey. When I call you a trailblazer, I said before they had never had a chance to do anything like that with, and I'm saying this is Black History Month, with somebody Black that's in charge, that's taking them somewhere to give them their flowers. You know, the same flowers that Coach Reno was given and his staff is the same flowers that she should get in her staff. And the same thing when you were there and what you gave, they probably never had that before.
Right.
So now you just said they or whoever need to give Coach Pettaway his flowers.
Yes, yes.
Don't need to let him get away or things that they could have did with you, for you, whatever.
Yeah,
and I don't know any of the specifics, and you've never
Right.
said anything like there was anything that you've never said that. So I'm not,
Right.
I'm just looking at what I'm looking at from afar and not knowing all the information. But my point is, when you said that about giving him his flowers, you have something to base that off of now that you could have turned into something. Turn it into that now. Be supportive of it now. Be
Yeah.
the rock that person needs. You know, we're in Black History Month. We need some more we need a lot of Black businesses. We need a lot of Black opportunities. Put some of them resources behind some people. And if you got alumni that played for you, that put their blood, sweat, and tears in that school, on that field, show some love.
I will say one thing, which obvious don't need to be explained. I don't have to say anything. You know, it is what it is. So when you speak volumes with actions, don't be mad when somebody say it's just
This is
this
what
way.
I say. Exactly right.
So and my thing was,
which people are quick to do. They get upset before they wonder, well, maybe that person was giving me some good advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe why not take that into advisement? Why not do that? Why not do that?
Yeah.
That should be the comeback, not being in your feelings.
Right.
Which most of them do, but.
And sometimes it's, you know, it's beyond our understanding. I think things myself and I say, hey, well, why? Wonder why this wasn't done this way. You know, but it always goes back to that's not your situation. So go create one.
For sure. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. But everybody don't have to.
No.
Some people create they create what they have by going to the access to the people that they have access to.
Right.
By going where they've planted something. By going to where they've already put into and trying to get something back from what they put into. So no, you don't have to recreate every single wheel. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And when trailblazers have done it, that gives another opportunity to show and how to do it. But there's also a whole lot of other trailblazers who had a whole lot of help. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
To blaze their trail.
Exactly.
And so again, I appreciate you stopping by. Since you're coming back again, whatever we missed, we're going to do this again.
Oh yeah.
And we may even make it around. I want to, when we get into our Tigers, you'll be one of the people that'll come up and sit with us as we talk about the history of the Tigers, and we're going to talk about those three-peat teams. Some of those, the J. Sean Hubbards, the Jonathan Blackmans, the Agrestas, the Johnny Agrestas, the Jorian Joneses, the Iki Jones. Like you guys, and I shouldn't have started calling names because there's so many guys.
Oh yeah, so many.
But we'll have a chance to call them all out.
Right.
But you and Coach Jet and Coach Quint, the pride that you guys had, the intensity that your squad had, that you guys coached with, Coach Jet always talks about a lot of his coaching. He did a great job allowing you guys to do what you do, because when he was for the varsity, when De Leon and them played, he was the offense coordinator.
Oh, okay.
And he loved it. He loved the base. I'm the offense coordinator. You know what I mean? And so we say, he said I only had to call 2 plays. De Leon left and De Leon right.
That's
Game,
right.
game was over, and then I just called other plays after that. You know what I mean? But you guys had kids that were great kids, a lot of talent, but a lot of hard workers on those teams.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Those kids was a lot of hard workers. You know, of course, Jay Sean leading it as far as that hard work uh, mode that he was always in, and but guys willing to follow that in Jonathan and Johnny Agresta and those guys, Jorian and them guys, and so so that'll be a great topic for that.
Yeah.
We'll have our own little special three-peat section to where you guys come in and talk about that. But
Right.
anything else you want to add about your? You talked about the future.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about.
Yeah. So what we will be introducing this spring is Coach Tay's House of Speed.
Okay.
So now that what that basically entails that, you know, Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy is overall athleticism. So no matter what sport you are, you can come in and get your training,
Right.
you know, and it's a sports enhancement academy. With this House of Speed, it's going to be a little different.
Okay.
Okay. It's going to be, you know, people will be selected that have a special quality about, you know, their speed development that wants to run at high levels and wants to, you know, it could be, you know, track and field work. It could be training for a combine or something like that.
Oh, I say, yeah. Or even getting ready to go to, I remember when my son went to college, one of the big things he was worried about is a lot of times when you go on these college campuses, first thing they want to do, they need to figure out how to rate people.
Oh, yeah.
So they rate them by talent, but they also rate them by how well they're in shape.
That's right.
What they run the 40 in, what they do these things
Right.
in. Something like that,
Yes,
possibly
so
they would come to
basically-
the House of Speed
Yes.
so that their 40 time might increase when they
Right.
get there. So instead of being a tight end, they may actually be able to run as a wide receiver would run if that's a better position for them. Or going from a linebacker to a safety. They may not have the size for a linebacker, but they need to have the speed to be a safety. And so I assume Coach Tay's House of Speed would be able to help some individuals with that also.
Yeah, and the difference about it is, like I said, it's just another branch to what we do.
Okay.
And what we found out early, that when you have a tree and you can only pluck from one branch, not everybody eats.
Okay.
So we had to go out and find different avenues that we could fulfill everybody's desires.
Yes.
So under this House of Speed is just, you know, we got a national athlete right now. Okay. In the summer, if she wants to run some AAU stuff, and you know, we want to get electrifying people from all over the, you know, the state of Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, the tri-state area that wants to come and wants to do next level training with speed techniques and angles and movements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To just teach them how to nurture that so they can be on a bigger stage.
And Coach, are you getting overworked?
Never.
You put yourself out there. You know, a lot of things, huh?
And I tell people all the time, God has given me the ability and the strength and power to do what I've done. So he's going to put a hedge around me.
Yes.
He protects everything I do. Because I understand this. While I sleep, they work. And I can't be outworked.
And you can't.
So,
there you go. There you go. I agree.
Yes,
well, again, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Much love, much success. Again, I've watched from afar. I've watched up close to some of the guys, some of the kids I know. I remember when I first started watching your videos was when Mr. Quarterback was there, Peyton
Hill.
And I used to watch a lot of those videos of you being there and giving him the same thing you gave them Tiger kids, and he blossomed. You know what I mean? He already had a certain amount of talent, but again, one of the things I'm sure he needed when he was younger, because he was a Tiger, footwork.
Oh yeah,
he needed his footwork, and you're a quarterback, and now he's got some of the best footwork ever.
And he still comes. Yeah.
Does he?
Still comes. His dad makes sure.
Well, that's right.
Make sure he's there.
Yeah, I mean, he could find a better dad somewhere, but
oh man.
But other than that, he's you know, everybody else is good. He need a new dad. Dad's a slacker. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
so that's why
I'm sure he'll have something to say about that.
That's why Peyton's so good. You know, he's able to overcome his dad.
Oh, okay.
And anytime you can overcome a dad like he had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but I kid stuff on. But yeah, I mean, that the work that you was perfect to meet them.
Oh yeah.
The desire that his dad had, the desire that he had, is what you was waiting to give. It was a marriage made in heaven. And again, obviously there's been a lot of those type parents, a lot of those type kids that needed something special, and then you popped up on the scene for it. And so the community's better for it. during Black History Month, this Black Business Minute
Oh yeah.
is to say, listen, the Eastern Ohio Speed and Agility Academy is out there.
Yes.
You guys go do it. You know how to get a hold of him on Facebook. You know how to get a hold of him on his website. Look him up. Take your kids there. I know I support, recommend, and I'm looking for collaboration. I'd like to bring the Peace Knowledge. Actually, I'd like to bring the Mac and Jet show down there at some point and talk about what you do.
Sure.
Look at some of the things, the specificity. What's that word, Madam Producer? Does it sound right there? Just some of the things you do, the different drills and the kids, and maybe just the different age groups, because you do a lot. There's a lot you're doing, and I guess the future will be just like you said. You're going to have Coach Tay's House of Speed.
Yeah.
You'll probably have some other things attached to that sooner or later as the time
And
goes.
before we get off here,
Yes.
if anybody needs any volleyball training, my daughter Tasia Montgomery is now doing our volleyball training.
Okay.
And she has the same fire, the same desire. You
Good
know,
deal.
sometimes I'm listening to her, I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Like that, she's doing the same thing. So she has embraced that opportunity.
Yes.
And she's getting ready to go to college on scholarship to play volleyball, which I'll be able to give her an NIL deal. Which
there you
we
go.
also do for our athletes too.
Oh, you look for NIL deals.
Yeah.
And then we have to make that a show too, because I'd like to see us start getting involved in that, figure out a way to get that. And whoever comes up with the first template, this is what we also need to do. We need to start, because of the talent in the Ohio Valley, we need to start making agents.
Yes.
Advisors. We need to start making those people. So as these athletes go, find kids who are interested in getting into sports management and things of that nature, and they could work with each other and the kid, find out how that works.
Yeah.
And if you're on the business side and you want to go to school for business and you get your degree, you might want to be an agent.
Right.
This is fertile ground.
Yeah, you're right.
Fertile ground for that. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and you guys, thank you for tuning in. And again,
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And then subscribe to the Mac TV $ YouTube channel. And again, follow us on Mac TV on Facebook, Instagram, and the Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom show will be here on Mac TV channel. And we really appreciate everyone. Peace out.
Jefferson County, 43952, Steubenville, Ohio.
7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust.